can you please bring this to a vote? People are dying, and you have the power to do so. Well, as you know, we've taken strong measures to make sure that pharmaceutical companies, they're not allowed to operate in the same way as they used to. So checkmate, conservative. We solved it. The midterms are going to be great.
Wonderful to see you, Speaker Pelosi.
My pleasure, Adi, always to be with you. And also a treat to get a chance to see your beautiful family.
Hi. So nice to see you. Thank you for doing this. Hi, Carl.
Thank you for your tremendous leadership.
Speaker Pelosi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. The last time we saw each other in person was in 2019, when you allowed me to testify at the first ever congressional hearing on Medicare for All. It's been a dramatic and tragic 2 years since then. Amidst the horror of the pandemic, the American people rose up to defeat a fascist president who threatened us all. And this year, with an extremely thin majority, you have shepherded a transformative agenda through the House. The American Rescue Plan was enacted into law, but you have also passed legislation to rejuvenate our democracy, to empower workers, to give immigrants a path to citizenship, to get dangerous weapons off our streets, and so much more. It has been a tour de force.
I love how much you have to set this up for Nancy, because if you don't, Nancy's probably going to be like, oh, what? It's cutting out. I think I froze. And it's like, Nancy, I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. Come on. Like, why are you doing this? I just want to talk to you about Medicare for All and how you haven't done shit all for that.
But these popular and crucial bills are being blocked by Republicans in the Senate. And Democrats have not yet marshaled the political will to get rid of the filibuster. So my first question is a how question. How do you do it? You are the most effective and powerful speaker in at least 60 years. How are you able to navigate the competing interests and ideologies of House Democrats, and convince even centrist Democrats to support these bold bills, in a way that hasn't yet happened in the Senate?
Well, thank you for your kind words and recognition of our House Democratic agenda. I also want to give credit to you and so many others, because our inside maneuvering would just go so far. It's the outside mobilization. You're a hero to all of us, and so many people follow your lead. And they weigh in with our members and make it easier for them to have the courage to take the votes. But let us salute always our VIPs, our very important people, for their kitchen.
Let's get to the important part.
This is universal health.
Doesn't really relate to them as much as issues that are their kitchen table concerns.
No, I'm not trying to break TOS right now by showing you a bunch of lib porn. I'm not trying to make all the libs in the chat coom simultaneously. And I know any libs who are here, you're doing that. And it's not even something you can control. Obviously, every single one of you is like, oh my god, whoa, I feel like the quartering after that new She-Ra cartoon came out. But something very important happened that I want to see, and it's coming up.
I'm not giving up on any of it. I'm not giving up on any of it.
Madam Speaker, in America we do not have universal health care, but we do have Medicare, which provides health insurance for senior citizens and disabled people. A glaring hole in Medicare, however, is that it does not cover care for our eyes, teeth, or ears. This is incomprehensible to me, because senior citizens are exactly the people who most need this health care. A broad coalition of 156 Democrats in the House, which is over 70% of your caucus, have publicly announced their support for strengthening Medicare to cover this care. Voters expect Democrats to deliver on health care, and this would clearly be a great policy and a smart move politically heading into the midterms. So, Speaker Pelosi, can we count on you to schedule a vote in this Congress?
What about expanding Medicare so that it doesn't start if you happen to be old or disabled? Like, why don't do the Canadian thing? You know, what about making it so because we have Medicare as well in Canada, and it starts at zero. When you're zero, you know how life begins at conception for Republicans. Well, that's also when Medicare starts in Canada.
To strengthen Medicare to include coverage for vision, dental, and hearing care?
We already did that, as you know, Adi, last year in H.R. 3. The lowering of prescription drug prices and the money that we save by doing that is
Platitudes. Oof, platitudes. Well, we've done some things, you know. We've done some actions. So the checkmate 6.
essential to our expanding the benefits of Medicare, and that was what H.R. 3 was, which we passed last summer. There's every reason in the world for Republicans to join us to pass this bill. Even the president has supported these key provisions, and now we're in those kinds of conversations. We have to get those.
In Ontario, vision and dental aren't covered. In most of Canada, vision and dental aren't covered. And you know, Jagmeet Singh has been fighting for that, and also to get pharmacare coverage. And Justin Trudeau has been shutting them down at every pass. They do not want to expand things that concern the face. You know, in Canada, if you have any problems in here, hopefully you're rich. That's all I'll say. You know, hopefully you're rich. If you have any problems here, if you have any problems here or here, again, hopefully you have the money to sort that out. Hopefully, because if you don't, you're fucked. If you have any problems up here, I mean, there are some things, you know, you can certainly go to a walk-in clinic and tell them your woes, but you probably won't be seen by a counselor, let alone a psychiatrist, for up to a year in Canada. And if you happen to have something serious or severe that requires immediate attention, such as if you are schizophrenic, well, what they do in the lower levels of the Canadian healthcare system is they just start pumping you full of drugs, and then they play that little "we hope things work out" game. You know, we hope things work out. We hope this combination of drugs solves the problem, because again, it would be very, very expensive for us to have to get every person seen by a psychiatrist immediately. So neck up, you're kind of fucked. But neck down in Canada, we got you covered, and it's actually pretty incredible. I will give credit where credit is due. The Canadian healthcare system, when it comes to neck down problems, is it's phenomenal. In that, like, I know a lot of people in conservative media like to shit all over the Canadian healthcare system, but as someone who's had multiple family members, including myself, have medical scares over the years, I've never once been concerned about going bankrupt simply by trying to get something checked out. And people who have had problems, including like very complicated surgeries, don't have to pay a cent. Like, it does not bankrupt you. So imagine, just imagine that concept, where not only do you not have to fear about getting something checked out, because what if it's a cancer? What if this little growth I have is a cancer? What do I have to worry about? Well, I'm never going to get it checked out because I don't have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to get that investigated. So I'm just going to hope it goes away. I'm just gonna roll the dice, you know?
House and the Senate to both pass the equivalent of H.R. 3, which enables the Secretary of Health and Human Services to negotiate for lower prescription drug prices. The savings, which are in the hundreds of billions of dollars, would then enable us to deal with dental, hearing, and visual benefits. There are other things, you know, depending on how much money is saved, that we might want to also include in that, but we have to take that first step in order to get that done. And I'm optimistic that we will. Of course, it's easy in the House, but in the Senate, I think they're making some progress and coming closer to the negotiated benefit. They didn't have that in their bill before, but now they're fighting for that. And as long as they can get all the Democrats on board, then we can proceed with expanded benefits, for sure.
Thank you. Separately from strengthening Medicare, President Biden campaigned on a promise to lower the Medicare eligibility age to 60, which would cover another 23 million people. This expansion could be paid for easily in different ways. One of the options would be to empower Medicare to negotiate drug prices just as the Department of Veterans Affairs does, which pays half as much for drugs as Medicare. I know that you pride yourself on representing your caucus, especially when there is broad consensus like this. So, will you also bring forward the bill to lower the Medicare eligibility age?
This is so sad to watch because, like, you have to do such an extreme fluff piece for Nancy Pelosi to even agree to have this conversation. And at the same time, it's like, please help. Please? Can you please do something?
Well, the money that you discussed about giving the secretary the ability to negotiate is the money that we were spending on hearing, vision, and dental. Now, should there be more money, then we can take it to the next step. But the president is looking at the budget to see how that is. We have $400 billion
The look
for
on his
home
face.
care, for our seniors, for people with disabilities, a very top priority for us that we want to protect. If we're using the money for renegotiating prices, for expanded benefits, let's get as much money out of that as possible.
You were asked such a flat out question. Will you bring this to a vote? Because you can. You have the power to do so.
The way we're writing the laws, pharmaceutical companies cannot increase the price of prescription drugs higher than inflation. If they do, they have to give a rebate to the federal government of that amount of money. That's another pot we can put our hand in for increased benefits for Medicare, including lowering the age as well as hearing, visual, hearing, and dental.
But the richest people in America have gotten so wealthy this past decade. Surely we can find the money to lower the age, don't you agree?
Well, I do think that's one of the challenges that the president has. Of course, he doesn't have that problem in the House. We'll see how he does in the Senate in terms of increasing the money coming into.
You can't do that. You can't try to say that this is a problem of the Republicans. He's asking, why won't you do anything about this?
To the federal government. It's not just only unfairness, as it has always been. It's now to the point of immorality that, especially during a time of pandemic, that the rich have gotten so much richer, and those who have been economically challenged, that challenge is intensified.
I very much hope that you will bring this bill up for a vote. He made it a campaign promise. And you control the House floor agenda, and your caucus clearly wants to lower the eligibility age. It will help us win the midterms.
That was so sad. That was so unbelievably sad to see. Holy shit, like Nancy Pelosi, you unfathomable ghoul. And just sitting there smiling after all that fluff piece too, you know? Like so much like, you are the greatest hero in American history. You have changed the world for the better. Can you please bring this to a vote? People are dying, and you have the power to do so. Well, as you know, we've taken strong measures to make sure that you know, pharmaceutical companies, they're not allowed to operate in the same way as they used to. So checkmate conservative. We solved it. The midterms are going to be great. And you know the greatest thing about like what is most likely going to be an absolute slaughtering in the midterms is all the things they're going to blame it on. All the other things, you know? What about a fucking public option, Nancy? It's not enough just to thank our essential workers. We need to pay them. As president, I'll raise the minimum wage to 15, end the tip minimum wage, end the sub-minimum wage for people with disabilities, ensure everyone has strong benefits. Hey, do you like movies? Do you like Serfs? Do you want movies and Serfs watching the movies? So then come over to the new channels. It's the Serfs the cinema. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, you know, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because
It's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and VK Jehannam, we are prepared to commit human sacrifices for your eternal glory. To our monarchs, the Tim Caucus and Tom Spiker, we are humbled to be your oafish jesters, clowning around in your royal court. To our lords, Evan Nudie, Tofox, Ryan Lubin, Trevor R., Jeff Lamb, and Alexander Thaler, we shall proudly carry your standard onto the battlefield and die for your precious land. To our esteemed Knights of the Round Table, Dark Puppy, Jenna Towell, Anna Loves Riley, Quiet 185, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, The Great Houdini, Bongini, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramona Costa, J. Fraser Cartwright, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Yopi, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our glass, we raise our swords, and we salute you.